Final play, a 4-second left. Yeah, I mean, every team practices this situation. It's pretty clearly desperation mode. So the idea is you want to try to get the ball out as quick as you can in space. Get your ball carriers, get your athletes in a lateral position, and just try to keep the play alive. And really, at this point, you just want to throw here. You can see Kansas City, they have all defensive linemen out of the game. These are all linebackers, defensive ends. Here we go.
Hey fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight. The outcome was not what we were looking for. The Philadelphia Eagles have gone down to the Kansas City Chiefs, 38-35. Was not the outcome we were looking for. I have to commend Andy Reid and his coaching effort in this game. He definitely got the better of our defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon. The adjustments made at halftime was just too much for the defensive coordinator to overcome. He never made an adjustment. Andy went in at halftime, recognized the weakness of this defense, and then attacked it mightily in the second half. It was as just as lopsided as it was in the first half. On the Eagles side, it was in the Chiefs' favor in that second half. Jonathan Gannon was outcoached a lot. He was just outcoached, hands down. Hats off to Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. There was a report that Jonathan Gannon might be still hired. And I know that everybody here probably wants that to happen. Mark, can we get the computer? Can you switch that? I want to get the thing on there. Guys, this is very disappointing, man. Very disappointing. Man. I don't know what to say. Just wow, yeah. Susan, you summed it up. It's just wow. Like, damn is right. Penalties screwed us. I talked about it in the pregame, but the one thing I was worried about was the referees. And I'm not going to say they called a horrible game. We did commit some penalties. We were uncharacteristic in our performance today. We had the winner of the turnover battle did win the game. I did say that. The winner of the turnover battle was going to win the game. Yeah, we fell off badly since they fell off. Fake injuries had to be stopped. Clifford says, man, the refs had nothing to do with this. We just fucked up the second half. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they really didn't. Whole game, the refs, David says the refs cheated. The field was messed up too, but there's no excuses. No excuses here. This Philadelphia Eagles team had the game in complete control in the first half, and I know I didn't mention it in this game because I was giving the coaching staff the benefit of the doubt with the job that they did in the previous two playoffs games, but this game right here was definitely coaching, and the Kansas City Chiefs coaching staff did a much better job than our coaching staff. The offense was great. The offense put up 35 points. You can't ask for anything more than that. The defense just came up very, very little this day. It came up very, very short this game. I know it's hard to hold a Patrick Mahomes-led team to under 30 points, but I just felt that we had the defense to do that, and that defense did not prove me right today. That defense came up short. We had no sacks. The team that set a franchise record in sacks, that had the most sacks in NFL history, recorded no sacks on the quarterback today. So I have to take my hats off to the Kansas City offensive line and ultimately to to Andy Reid and that offensive brain trust they have, because they did a yeoman's job in the second half. They darn near scored on every possession, right? They scored every possession in the second half. So our Philadelphia Eagles, although what a wonderful season it was to follow them, didn't get the job done at the end, and we find ourselves on the losing end of the Super Bowl 57. We just hope that this is not the last time that we find ourselves in the big game in the near future. Things change. No things are going to change. They're going to have to pay Jalen Hurts after this season, and I'm just curious as how we rebuild and how this team is structured for next year, because we have a lot of good pieces in place. I don't know how many of those good pieces or good players that we can retain after this season with salary cap and free agency and all that. This was our opportunity, and I think we did. Yeah, that's right. We Eagles till we die, man. That's right. You hear the lift your heads up. Lift your heads up. That's right. This team is still to be. I'm still proud of this team. Don't get me wrong. I'm very disappointed right now, but I am proud of this team. It was a hell of a ride just following them this season, 16-4 ultimately. But I thought this team was. I just thought we could do it, and we could have done it. But again, hats off to Andy Reid and the job that they did at halftime, because that halftime adjustments, man. I mean, we had no answer for it, and nothing changed. Like, am I missing it? Was there any adjustments on the defensive side of the ball in the second half? Did I miss something?
We went to zone. We went with more zone. We went with matchup zone. Then, we put the hands into the opposite team's hands. We didn't play Philly ball, point blank. We didn't play our style of football. We didn't play our style of defense. We were more or less reserved to play a zone and be scared instead of getting in the face of the receivers as they motion, getting in the face of the tight end coming across. Let's be honest, man. This is something we talked about all year with this defensive coordinator, right? This is something we talked about all year. You praised them, and I sat back and said, hey, you know what? The numbers speak volumes. His numbers does speak volumes. But when it comes down to crunch time, you put this product on the field. You put this product on the field with the players that you have. And they go back to talking about putting the refs' hands. We can't find ourselves in the situations like that. You got to understand something. Pat Mahomes scrambles to his right about 75-80% of the time to throw a ball. When he goes to his left, he throws the ball out of bounds or he gets sacked. We didn't take that information and utilize it in this game. The one penalty, the defensive holding, the guy didn't even cross the line of scrimmage, Dark Knight. He didn't cross the line of scrimmage. He wasn't even a receiver on that route yet. He ran a slant, and when he came back, he was behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was just a couple calls.
Calls.
Yeah, a couple.
Like, if you're going to be consistent to make these calls, that call when Devontae Smith was out of bounds, he was being held by the back of his jersey.
Yeah.
Be consistent in your calls.
The comment on the screen, V says, didn't even get a damn pressure. Didn't blitz the second half offense, just went the fuck away. D-line played with no motor. I think the defensive line played with a lot of heart. I just don't think that they were helped out by the defensive coordinator by trying to dial up some pressure. I know what worked during this season, but this game was for all the marbles. So this is a time where you have to take the risk and go outside of your comfort zone and send some pressure. And we never saw that from Jonathan Gannon. I have the utmost trust and I have the utmost confidence in this defensive line. But when you see that what you want to happen is not happening, don't you have to change it up? And I didn't see any changes by Jonathan Gannon in the second half. Not even orchestrating more pressure, just allowing the zone, the soft-ass zone that we've all identified throughout the whole year. He kept playing it, and they picked it apart. It was the one thing I did talk about in the pregame. This was not – we ill afford to allow Patrick Mahomes to get as hot as he got in the second half. And this is very disappointing because that first half was the formula executed to perfection to beat this team. We held the ball. We dominated the time of possession. I don't think we had, although you might think a 10-point lead would be enough, right? But I don't think we had enough of a lead. As you can see, obviously we didn't have enough of a lead because even with that dominating first half of time of possession, it didn't take Patrick Mahomes a lot to score those touchdowns in the second half. He had one long drive, the opening drive of the second half. That was a long drive. And then the rest they didn't even take a lot of time off the clock. And we seemed to put up no resistance to their drives in the second half. We put up no resistance in the second half, and that was disappointing, man. Jonathan Gannon, I wish you the best. I hope that you get the head coaching job that you're looking for because Ed Sheridan just said, how many times did we even blitz? I don't think we blitzed any. I didn't see any. Yeah, I don't know. I hope so. I'm rooting for him. My producer's in my ear like, he's not getting a head coaching job after the day. I'm rooting for him to get a head coaching job because in the biggest game of the year, him and I reserve myself too. And like near the second half of the season, I reserve myself to say, hey, look, this is just who Jonathan Gannon is, and let's just celebrate the success that he has had with this defense. But in the end, his stubborn ways sunk this team and prevented us from winning the Super Bowl today.
You can't be scared to gamble in this the biggest game of the year, the last game of the year. You cannot be scared to gamble. You got to go for it. You got to empty the tank. These guys, they wanted it. These guys wanted it.
Now, put Natalie's up there. We are a totally different team in the second half. I disagree. I think our defense was a totally different team in the second half. Our offense did a good job. I mean, they scored 35 points. I mean, that's nothing to be sneezed at. And with 35 points, your defense is supposed to. I mean, the second ranked defense in the league is supposed to pull that game out, right? If your offense can give you 35 points, if your offense can hand you a 10-point lead at halftime, when your offense can dominate time of possession, your defense has to show up. They have to show up a little bit. Something. They gave that lead up so fast, it was almost like we didn't even play the first half. It was a wasted – the defense made the first half a wasted half almost. We come out, we got to win a game. We got 30 minutes to win a game, and we already spotted 10 points, and the defense couldn't help us out. That's discouraging. Deion Jones says, look, punk-ass defense in the end. He also said earlier, I saw where he said, good season. It was a good season. Good season, not great season. It was there for sale. There for sale. Yeah, it's very, very disappointing, man. Very, very disappointing. There's no need to well, the polls have already been greased, but there's no need to climb any polls. I saw somebody showed me a video online where the Eagles fans turned over a car. Well, they might need to go back and turn it back over because it's like, go back and put that guy's car back like it was because there's no celebration going on, and that was stupid in the first place. But yeah, this is disappointing. It's going to be a long ride home tonight. I was contemplating whether to ride downtown and join in the celebration that I thought we were going to be having, but that's not going to take place. So I'm just going to pack the hell up and get the hell out of here. But Pat is so mad he's not even talking. He could jump in at any time. I give him like a half a second pause to see if he's going to jump in, and he's just so frustrated, man. Look,
I'm frustrated with it's just a play call, man. You're scared to challenge these receivers like they're top flight receivers. You're scared to put your bigger corner on a tight end that was basically killing you all game. Like, how can we still rely on this guy? Like, how can you sit here and say and look at the number and say, you know what, this is our guy. If he doesn't go anywhere, we need to bring him back next year. Like, it's frustrating year in and year out. No, regardless of numbers, when it's a big game, he freezes. He freezes. You saw Steve Spagnuolo say, you know what? If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die on this bullet. I'm gonna die on this sword. He brought double-edged blitzes the whole game almost.
I guess the biggest thing that disappoints me, or not disappoints me,
Just change it up,
irritates
man.
me, or
Just change it up.
I am going to be, I have to face it, is those fans that were hating on us all season. Now they're going to come back. Now, like the 49ers. See, I told you this is what we could do. I thought that we could take advantage. Somebody said that. It had their quarterback not got hurt, and they felt like they had some
49ers could suck balls, all right? So
yeah,
they're not going to do nothing. They still can't figure it out which quarterback's going to be their top quarterback. They're going to have Brock in there. He's not going to perform like he performed this year. Their defense is not going to be living up to it because they don't have a defensive coordinator, and they're going to be at the bottom of the barrel in the NFC West.
Go back, Mark.
So the thing about it is, I'm not worried about those teams. Y'all didn't get here. Y'all lost for a reason, all right?
Ed Sheridan says, can't get over the blown plays on our defense and how big the BS call was on the last holding play.
Your man is your man.
That last holding play was, I just listened to it on the radio. I couldn't take it. I had to walk out. So that last holding play was BS. Not to mention the non-catch by Smith. That was to me, I thought that was a makeup call from the last game. I just thought it was. Like, that was more of a catch than the catch that he blew against the 49ers. That was a catch. That
whole sequence is dumb.
Yeah,
because if you're going to call that last penalty a defensive holding, why you don't call the defensive holding on the guy?
Look at V. Put V's comment.
Let me talk.
Our defense, I'm sorry.
Let me speak. I know. I appreciate guys talking on here, but let me get this out before I get frustrated with the Eagles, because I am frustrated with the Eagles. I'm frustrated with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm frustrated with the refs. This whole game was a bunch of crap. The field was terrible. Guys couldn't plant right. The refs wasn't consistent the whole game. The whole game. When it comes to the last minute, it should have been whistled down to the air like, no, let the players play the damn game. As long as it's not evident, let the players play the game. And they didn't let them do that because that was more of a defensive hold against Smitty than it was against Bradbury. That was a bigger defensive hold.
V says our defense got 2 stops the whole game. Wide open, running wide open all the field. Nick and Shane was playing to win. Gannon was playing the Kansas City Chiefs like they were the Texans. I totally agree with that, V. That's a good assessment. Our defense came up very, very small. And it just and even, you know what? He can go, yeah. Mm-hmm. And even to the point where I can't even consider their first half being a good half. I think that our offense helped them out a lot in the first half because they dominated the ball. They had the ball so long that the defense didn't have to do much. It was an easy thing. Yeah, that fumble was a killer too. Yeah, that hurt us, and that's what won them the turnover battle in the game. So I don't know how good this defense was. If we have any total yards for the what's the total yards? What did Kansas City wind up total yardage wise?
I mean, we had more total yards than they did, so I'm not going to.
No, but still, like if you give up, like, yeah, we didn't.
Total yards, they had 340. We had 14 and 7, 417.
417. They had how many?
340.
340. That was uncharacteristic by our defense. We averaged giving up like 200.
We had 115 rush yards. They had 158 rush yards. We had the ball much longer than they did. Right? We held the ball for we held the ball for a total of 35 minutes and 47 seconds. They had the ball for 24 minutes, 13 seconds. The thing about it is
24 minutes
position.
And 13 seconds. They had the ball like 9 minutes in the first half, right?
No.
So they scored all those touchdowns in 13 minutes, 14 minutes of the second half. That was incredible. They scored like all 4 touchdowns.
All 4 possessions in the second one.
And we couldn't take advantage of it, man. It's horrible. Worst call in Super Bowl history, Milton says. Isaac says, fuck. I'm sorry. Are we still? Oh, no kids in here. All right. Fuck that fucking call at the end with the holding. Why the fuck is Super Bowl what they call a tic-tac call? That's what I was talking about, man. I pointed that and ref. Oh, man, I'm not going to blame it on them.
Well, you know what? I got to go back to that one punt return, that low line drive punt return. And we got to talk about. We talked about fundamentals, making tackles. Like if you make a tackle right there, you give him the longer field to go. Maybe we get his defensive stop in that situation. Listen, man. Any given Sunday, I'm not gonna sit here and be too upset because you can't do nothing about it. We lost to the better team at this particular, even though they're not the better team.
Ted Wiggins says we got totally outcoached. Well, I don't know. I think I think the offensive side of the ball did a pretty good job. I mean, we wouldn't even be in the game had it not been for the offense doing, or Jalen performing the way he performed. Jalen had an outstanding game, and we'll probably have won the MVP had we won, man. All right, thanks, man. Thanks for coming out, yo. Yeah, Jalen had an outstanding game. Steichen, we might lose Steichen, and I'll be hurt more than anything by losing Shane Steichen than Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon, I'll drive him to his next job if he gets it. I'll drive him all the way there. I don't care if it's on the West Coast.
All right, the two things we got to do is fire a special teams coach and draft a punter.
Yeah, get a punter, fire the special teams coach. And Jonathan Gannon can kick rocks. He really can, man.
Because that defense didn't do nothing. We can give them that touchdown. It's always us. Always us. The game is not about the other team. It's always on us playing our game, not giving the ball up and not committing stupid penalties. Take away that fumble. Take away those dumb penalties. This is a whole different game.
Yeah, the penalties was kind of uncharacteristic for us too. Like, wow, I don't get it. The defense let us down. Floyd says. Jason says, "Nah, Jalen made up for his mistake. It was the defense." Yeah, it was the defense.
It was the defense.
And special teams. That was a. Yeah.
We lost by 3, and Jalen gave up 6. I mean, but Jalen put four total touchdowns on the board. He put 4 total touchdowns on the board. 3 rushing, 1 passing, 300 yards passing, a quarterback rating over 100. I mean, he did his best to make up for his mistake. I can't put it all on Jalen because you know what? Sometimes it got to be more than just the offense. That stop that the Chiefs had. The Chiefs had multiple defensive stops. Defense wins championships. Point blank.
And I thought we had one to do that. I mean, they were the second-ranked defense in the league, right? You would think if you had the second-ranked defense in the league, you could stop one of those drives. I mean, did they punt? They didn't even punt in the second half, did they?
No. They had 4 consecutive scoring opportunities. They scored all 4 times.
That's incredible. And 2 of those scores were just like, where was the defense? Where the defense wasn't even within 10 yards of the guy.
No.
And they did the same play. They just flipped it to the other side.
Yeah, it's calling on your keys. You're trying to sprint across the field. It's an all-out blitz. But yeah, you're not paying attention to your man. When you're not paying attention to your man, that's where you have wide open players twice. Happened twice.
Well, that's a credit to Andy Reid because they were some he took advantage of our defense right there. Defense definitely got outcoached. The extra motion had the defense concerned with the motion this way and the wide open guy on the other side, man. It was just I don't even think that when you look back on it, hindsight is 2020. We will reluctantly look at this game again, right? So we can talk about it on Thursday. But when you look at it, it was just again, I don't think the defense put up any resistance, man. They didn't put up any resistance, and I don't even think when you look at them in the second half, you have to even wonder, were they even well prepared for what they were seeing? I mean, like, Andy didn't pull out any special plays, right? I mean, like, no, he didn't pull out any special plays. He had a half to look at what Jonathan Gannon did, along with the film that he watched during the 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. But he had a half to see what Jonathan Gannon was doing, and then his adjustment at halftime was masterful. He came out and just took advantage of what Jonathan Gannon was giving up and Jonathan Gannon never made a counter move. This is chess, not checkers, right? You make a move, you make a counter move. It's like boxing, right? You punch, you counter punch. There was no counter punch to all the haymakers Andy Reid was throwing. And let me back that up a little bit. Not haymakers, because they didn't have explosive plays. They just, again, talked about in the pregame. They just methodically moved the ball down the field against this defense, took what they gave, took what Jonathan Gannon was giving up, no big chunk plays, and just methodically moved the ball down the field and scored on every possession in the second half. It was an embarrassment to go out this way in the biggest game of the season. Now the critics or the doubters have the last laugh. Obviously, we didn't play a team of this caliber all year, and we saw what happened. We played them tough, don't get me wrong, nothing to hang our heads on. 35-38 in the Super Bowl, that's a damn good effort, but big disappointment.
The losers aren't looked at upon in history, right? The losers aren't looked upon. There's always you guys are one team. We always talk about, is this the best Eagles in our history? No, you got to win it. I said it time and time again. You got to win a championship before you put yourself in that position. And this is going to hurt for a little bit. But at the end of the day, move on. Sign who we got to sign. Get some guys in here that knows how to coach the fundamentals. We definitely going to need a new defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator, because these both coordinators going to go. One's the coach, one's going to Arizona. So we're going to need two coordinators. We're going to need a special teams coordinator. We're going to need a punter. Because both punters we got on this team suck.
And we're going to need some pieces on defense, because I doubt that we bring everybody back, especially we had a lot of people on one-year deals on the defensive side of the ball, and I doubt if we can bring everybody back. I guess this is a good time to talk about who you do want back. I do want DJ back. Yeah. I would love to have Bradbury back, but I think his price tag is just going to be too much for us to bring him back. TJ Edwards is going to be a free agent. I do like TJ. It depends on what his price tag is going to be. Kazir White can probably walk. He's just not consistent. I don't know.
I don't think he's consistent enough.
I don't think he's consistent, but I don't know if the coordinator is putting them in the best position to be effective. Like, I don't know, like, if we have another defensive coordinator with a different scheme, Kazir might be useful.
Man, you got N'Kobe Dean in wings.
N'Kobe's a middle linebacker.
He's an upgrade on the type of defense that you run. He's an upgrade at that position. I mean, listen, let it ride. Let it ride.
Let him ride.
As much as I like Kazir, depending on if he's able to come back for a reasonable deal, there's going to be some decisions that you're going to have to make.
Yeah, Jason says, how do the Chiefs run motion and our defense look like a deer in headlights? Yeah,
one person
because they weren't prepared.
Yeah,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
One person overruns the motion. I mean, listen, it's simple. When they go on motion, you already talk to your inside guy. Either you're switching or you're not. It's not deciding once that motion happens. They run motion about 90% of their offense is motion.
Then why was the defense out there looking like they had never seen the motion before? That's preparation.
Preparation was terrible.
Preparation was terrible.
Was poor.
Like, they didn't just start running motion. They've been running motion all season long, and you had 2 weeks to look at their whole season of them running motion. Mm-hmm. And then when they do it in the game, you look like you've never seen it before. Yeah. That's coaching.
That is coaching. That's straight up coaching.
Oh, my God. All right, Joseph says it was a great season. This loss doesn't take away from that. Go Birds. Bad time to tell me that. You know what I'm saying? As I'm sitting here and still digesting what I saw happen in this game, it's kind of tough to convince me that it was a great season. I'm going to need about 24 to 48 hours before I can look back and appreciate what we did this season, because right now it's a very nasty taste in my mouth, and I'm mad, I'm not celebrating. I'm
pissed. I'm pissed. I'm pissed to the point where I'm calm. It is weird. Like, I'm pissed to the point where I'm calm. Like, I want to say it's a great season, but when you don't win it when you don't win the ultimate goal, it's not a great season at the end of the day. when you have the opportunity to win these games. And this goes back to the Commanders game. Like, you can't end the game off of penalties. You cannot allow penalty to decide if you win or you do not. Like, you got to keep yourself in this game so you get off the opportunity who's hot to win it for us. Because best believe we got the ball back with that a little bit under 2 minutes left. We're marching downfield and we're scoring.
Yo, yeah. Look, what's going on? Everybody run outside. What's going on? All right. Look. Yeah. Stephanie is over there sinking her sorrow. She got a whole picture. That's an alcoholic. That's alcoholic. Stephanie, stop hugging the picture. What's that? That's alcohol. She has a whole picture with a straw. I was going to ask for some. She's drinking a whole picture of something. She is tequila. She's just drowning her sorrows. Do you have her, Mark? Look, there you got her right there. Look at that's Miss Sandler. That's Miss Pat. She's over there, and she's just going to drown her sorrows. I'm about to go join her because this is crazy. The Chiefs was ready for us. Yes, they were. We had the best defense, but where were they tonight? No sacks at all. No, did the defensive line even show up? I mean, did we have any pressures? No sacks and no holding calls. So, like,
we have 5 pressures.
5 pressures.
1 pass defense, 1 tackle for loss, no sacks. They had 2 quarterback hits, 3 pass defense. They technically didn't have a sack. Jalen just ran out of bounds.
They ran out for a loss.
So they give that to them. So, I mean, when you go and look at this game and go break this game down, it's like when you have the opportunity to keep your foot on somebody's neck, you got to. I'm saying this all season. You never let off the gas. You never let off the gas. God, I sit back and dissect this, man.
Game should have never ended on that penalty, but it did. And that is what I was alluding to when I pointed out the only thing I was concerned about was the officiating and that last call. I didn't see it. I had, your superstitions and stuff like that. I was sitting in here, things wasn't going right. I had to walk out. Went to the car and listened to it on the radio. I didn't see the actual hold, but I'm hearing from my co-hosts here and others that it was BS. I'm hearing from you guys, too, in the chat room that it was BS. B says the only pressure we got was, what's that? You got your hand over. Only pressure we got was when Sweat jumped offside. And that seemed like it was the closest we were to Pat all game. Yeah, only pressure we put on them on what touchdown play to run when they got close to the that's the only pressure they had. All right, which play are we going to call to score this touchdown? Because we put no pressure on them from the defense line, man. Rachel says, I've said it all season, snap their damn necks. Yeah, and we didn't snap their damn necks. We had our hands around their throat. We were squeezing very hard, but we didn't get violent enough. We should have snapped their damn necks. In your opinion, the Chiefs, Patriots, and most dynasties didn't win the Super Bowl in every appearance during their runs. No, they did not. It said to make it to this game, yes, but again, immediately following this game, it's not much that I feel great about. I mean, I can coax myself in the feeling and saying that this was a great season, but we just lost the damn Super Bowl. And 16-3, 16-4, Jalen being 16-1, none of that means anything to me right now. Again, I'm gonna need about 20 to 48 hours to fully digest this loss here. Sydney Fields said it took me about 10 minutes to calm my 14-year-old son down. We love the Eagles, and as do we. We love the Eagles too. That's why it's such a disappointing and heartbreaking loss. Shelman, our co-host says terrible call by the ref. It was uncatchable anyway. Them punks went up the field too. How we didn't have any explosive runs or receiving plays. Yeah, that field was That was a shame. Yeah, that was a
They
shame.
said earlier in the week, they said the guy that got the field done, they said, this is the best I've ever done. That field was terrible.
That was terrible.
That was definitely an embarrassment to the
NFL to have those type of field conditions in their marquee game of the year. I mean, we probably had 1 billion people watching this game, and that field was in the condition that it was in. I don't know, man. I don't want to be a 49ers fan. Let's put it that way. But it was some things that happened in this game that I could easily be a crybaby about. But
I'm not crying about anything. Listen, it is what it is.
In the end,
we lost fair and square. You know, we didn't do what we needed to do at the end of the game. It is what it is. You know.
Yeah. Phillies, Eagles, and the Union go down in defeat in the same year. I have to say so long to Angelo Cataldi because he was only here till the end of this Eagles season, and the season is officially over. So Angelo, legend in sports talk and sports journalist history. In Philadelphia, we say goodbye to him. It was a great run. It was exciting for his last year on the air, but we couldn't bring it home for him. The Eagles couldn't bring it home for him. So we bid the great Angelo Cataldi farewell. Good luck in retirement. I feel like retiring, but I'm not. And we're not retiring. Somebody asked in the pregame show, will this be our last show? No, this will not be our last show. We still come on in the offseason. The Eagles and the NFL have a great product. They give us a lot to talk about even in the offseason. So expect us to be on Thursday. We'll be on Thursday, and we will review this game. And it's not going to feel any better. I know it's not. But I will have those 48 hours that I talked about to recuperate. And maybe then I could talk about how good of a season was. It was fun on our end to be an Eagles coverage show and follow a team that had this much success. I guess that is something that we can be happy about. We've had seasons where we have not done, and that doesn't make our job fun. So this was a fun season in that regard, that we had a dominating team, a team that ended their run in the Super Bowl. I'll give some credence to that, but I am totally disappointed.
I do gotta say this to all the Cowgirls fans, to all the Midge fans, to all the Commies fans. It's the NFC East. Listen, we got farther than you guys have gotten in a very long time, and trust and believe with Howie Roseman, we'll probably be back here within a year or two to win this thing. And for anybody, for any Eagles fans that feel any less than the best team in the NFC, keep your head up high, all right? Keep your head up high, because right now we're still the best team in the NFC, and we still went through the teams that we had to go through to get to this pinnacle. Even though we didn't get to the mountaintop and witness the trophy, we still have an opportunity to relive this next year and the year after.
Yeah, yes, we do.
And that's me being positive right now.
Yeah,
that's me going crazy.
That's about much positivity we can get going right now. But Miss Sandler says she has a straw for me and a shot. So we're gonna wrap this up and drink our sorrows away, man. Oh God, Eagles, Bird Gang Nation. I'm so sorry to have to report this. You saw it with your own eyes. This is not the show that I envision having right now. The poles, no need to climb the poles. They can take the grease off and all that. Allen is back to the coach's trip, 24-14 at half, and they made that lead disappear like in no time, right? They were back. Yeah.
Because once we get the ball back, we're supposed to score. We're supposed to score a touchdown. We're supposed to score a touchdown the next time. Not kick a field goal.
That's the only reason why the Eagles lost, because of refs. The Chiefs only won because the refs freaking cheap holding call. That's the only reason why the Chiefs won. I'm just saying. Yeah, look, Handles he just messed up. He's telling me to shut up. Nah, I didn't make the calls. Like, yo, why are you telling me to shut up? The only reason why is because of refs. I can't say that wasn't a determining factor, man. Again, I talked about it in the pregame. That was one thing I was concerned about, and it came to be true that call was very, very crucial. I have to see it. Like I said, I didn't even see it.
That call was terrible.
It was a terrible call.
It was a terrible call.
Ed says he still bleeds green, as we all do, and we're bleeding a lot of that green right now because we've been wounded. We've been wounded, so it's a lot of green blood being bled tonight. Hearts are, yes, GLES, Eagles. And the few that are still here at Miller's Ale House still have enough enthusiasm and love for our bird gang that we let cheer just now, man. And that takes a lot after this game. So I appreciate you guys' enthusiasm and loyalty to our team. We're not going anywhere.
So next year, you got to understand something. Jalen, if you don't put Jalen in the top 3 next year, something's wrong with you. 300 yards passing, 4 total touchdowns in the biggest game on the biggest stage.
All right, and big thanks goes out to Miller's Ale House for hosting us tonight. And a big shout out to Robert Fine, my boy Robert Fine of Hathaway. I got to get him because we missed him in the pregame.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to give a shout out. Robert Fine of Brookshire Hathaway, Fox and Roach Realtors. If anyone needs help with their real estate needs, call the Fine team because they'll do fine by you. All right, he's the guy that gets our bookings. So, Rob, thanks a lot for getting us here at Miller's Ale House. We're going to sign off. I know it's not a joyous occasion, but we'll be back on Thursday, guys. Tune in on Thursday, and we'll break this game down even more, and maybe we'll be in a better state of mind and all that. I'm your man. Thank you, Mark, for coming back out, being our producer again. Thanks to Nichelle and her absence. Thanks to the best co-host that you can have from the beginning, my man Pat Sandlin from the door. We've been here 7 years, and we'll be back for an 8th one. I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight. For my co-host with the co-most, Pat and Nichelle, we'll see you guys on Thursday. We're out. Peace.
We go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, smash him up. Crack that fool, quarterback, crack, yo, sack that fool. Hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him.